Hey everyone, Shane Kazimier here with Kenneth James Realty. I have a special guest for you today. His name is Brad with Finding Nectar Nursery here in Westminster. He runs a nursery garden that facilitates plants and helps with pollinators such as bees, butterflies, and even bats. So really excited for you guys to listen to this. Very educational, and I'm super happy to support someone in the community and also someone who supports the environment. So thanks and enjoy the. Can you kind of describe your business a little bit for the people in the Westminster community?
Yeah, so we're a local plant nursery. So Finding Nectar is a backyard-based nursery that was created to help the pollinators in our area. So the best way that we kind of say it is that we're an educational for-profit that is providing what we believe are the best plants for our community, and then teaching people about the different planting seasons. So planting different plants for your spring, summer, and fall seasons that will really benefit the local pollinators that might be struggling in there. The one fun fact we like to put together is that, there's really only about 5 bee species that can be kept in bee hives.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but in Westminster alone, there's 150 bee species, and over half of them are threatened and endangered. And most people don't realize that like in our local area, there's that many endangered species. So just planting a couple more plants very thoughtfully can actually make a difference.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I did not know that there's that many species of bees out here. That's incredible. And I mean, I'm sure most people know that, without bees, pollinating the world, can go down pretty quick for us as a, civilization.
For
So,
sure. Yeah, and 90% of our vegetables need to be pollinated. So it's a very bleak world for
yeah,
food wise without pollination.
that's wild. What can you just give me like one or two um, plants that you would recommend, to help out the local bee population?
Yeah, I mean, we so right here at Finding Nectar, I mean, and this is our first year.
Hmm.
We have 40 species of plants. Some very common ones that people know are like black-eyed Susans, lavenders, and then we kind of get into like some other native plants that we have. So we have, spiderworts, we have yarrows, we have a pretty vast range of colors too. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to offer plants that would help bees, plants that would help butterflies, and even some bird species this first year. And as we grow, we'll obviously be introducing more and more plants
Hmm.
uh, to our collection in here for our customers.
Awesome. That's so sweet, man. That's really cool. I love that you're helping the community, and along with the community, also helping the environment. It's leaving a good footprint.
Yeah, and it really doesn't take much for people to actually make a difference. You don't need to go out and spend uh, thousands of dollars to actually make a difference. You can make a difference in your yard for 20, $30 if you really
Yeah,
want.
and a little bit of time and effort, right?
Yeah, not much in the grand scheme of things. Like
Yeah.
to think you can actually affect some change and maybe spend an hour to do it
Hmm.
doesn't take much.
No, it doesn't. No, I love it. Love it. So, Brad, can you tell me why did you choose this profession? What, I don't know what you were doing before this, but it seems like you have, a real love for plants and obviously the environment too, helping out with the bees, the pollinators in general. So, what really made you choose this profession?
So the funniest thing is that my background is actually not in botany and not in pollinators and all of this. I have a background in marketing. And I was I was tired of working, you know, for companies that I didn't really see affecting any change. And then COVID happened, and I'm sitting at home. I really wanted to have a beehive. I just got a new dog that I tried to introduce to a beehive. It didn't work out. He was too excited by the sound. Tried to put it in a pollinator garden. Did all this research to try and figure out like how to do it and what I needed to plant to make it effective, and found out that it was going to cost me thousands and thousands of dollars to do it effectively. So I bought some seeds, and ended up talking to my neighbors about it, and all of them wanted to buy my plants. And that really just kind of sparked that idea of, just teaching them a little bit about the pollinators and teaching them like about what I was trying to do with that,
Yeah.
got them interested in it. And that, like, if those little conversations could spark that much interest, maybe starting a bigger conversation and actually starting a company could make a much more massive change. And it got me really excited. And that's kind of what sparked the idea, is that, just talking about it so little with so few people, and every single person was that interested in it, it got me really excited to do more.
Man, that's incredible. I mean, they always say, if you love what you do, you don't work a day in your life. So, I mean, you definitely have to have that burning passion nowadays, especially to start your own business. And I mean, going from marketing into, something completely different like botany. I mean, marketing obviously is beneficial for you, for your
Yeah.
company. I'm sure you marketed well for your soft opening and things like that on Saturday, but man, that's just incredible that you can just almost like a 180, just completely flip the switch and do something more with the world. I mean, in a place where we are right now, um, it definitely needs as much, help as we can give it.
Well,
So
thank you. Yeah, it's definitely been an exciting ride. And obviously, we've got a long ways to go being still in my backyard and basement. But, it's a start.
yeah.
And I think our community's really been latching onto that and seeing that, like, I'm trying to really do good. And I'm starting with what I have.
Mhm.
And we're on the search and on the hunt for a commercial piece of land that, like, we can scale this to. But we just couldn't find it here this first year, and we wanted to do what we could this first year.
Yeah. I mean, better to start now than keep waiting, you can work out a lot of the kinks and really get a feel for what you need to do and to be able to scale in the future too. So
For
that's
sure.
awesome, man. So for the third question, what is, something that most people don't know about the business? That could be your business, that could be, just pollinators in general, plants, anything like that, anything that kind of strikes strikes you that unknowingly.
Hmm. I kind of covered a lot of that. Um, and a lot of the things that people don't know about Finding Nectar is we're literally started this winter in my basement. I've got giant shelves in my basement that we started all of these plants from seed on, and we started every single plant from these hands or some volunteers' hands from seed this year. We don't have fancy mechanics. We don't have, big resources and all of that. But what we found is that by planting all these plants from seed and keeping them in smaller pots, we can effectively charge the same amount as these big commercial nurseries that have been doing it. And then we can also have that personal feel because we're literally in your backyard too. We're in Westminster. We're
Yep.
in a community. And, we just open up our back gate and people can walk on in and see what we have going.
That's
And that's just been the fun of it, is that, basically I'm opening up my house, my backyard. And I say house, and the caveat of that is that keep people in the backyard for
yeah.
COVID reasons in
Yeah.
there, and give people a little extra space. But I think that's kind of the fun thing about this, is that we're a small company that wants to make a difference. And Finding Nectar hopefully will one day be bigger and hopefully be in a commercial nursery and all that. But we'll always remember our roots and where we started.
It's important, man. It's super important. Especially as long as you keep the main goals like you said in your head and keep trucking forward, it's definitely doable. And then speaking of goals, my next question is, what are some of your goals for you, your company in the next year?
I mean, our overall goal is just to sell plants to as many people as we can. And, if we can sell to 500 customers this year, I was trying to think of like what our actual goal is. and it was really kind of hard for me to imagine what we need out of this. We're
Mm-hmm.
operating out of my backyard, overhead's low. I
Mm-hmm.
really just want to reach as many people as I can and and talk with them. And I kind of have this overall goal of having 500 actual customers come buy our plants and actually have a conversation with me about it. And if I can teach 500 people one thing about pollinators and one thing of like how they can do better this first year,
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be fantastic. And it doesn't seem like a lot, but to me it is. To me it's
Yeah.
about that personal connection with all of our customers and like giving that amount of time. Maybe we have more, maybe we have less, but the whole point is I want to teach people how to actually affect change.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm teaching people that it doesn't take a lot to affect change. So my goals don't have to be that lofty to actually make a change myself this first year. So
Yeah.
I think that's why I want that to kind of be my goal this year.
Yeah, I mean that's a great goal, man, especially just starting out. Have you thought about anything like you know, doing like a class? And I mean you're good at marketing, so you could do, a little marketing and just doing a class on just pollinators and sharing that knowledge because I feel like, if the knowledge is there, then the customers will come also, because I know a lot of people personally that want to do their part in the world and make it a better place, after they leave this place, after they leave the earth. So, have you thought about anything like that before?
I, I honestly no. But what we do is sometimes go in, and I have gone into a few companies. I've talked to some realtor groups, and gotten in front of them and give them kind of a rundown of what we're doing and why and how we're affecting change. Um, so I guess my class is free.
Yeah.
And I will happily bring plants into companies and talk to them. I'd happily, talk to groups that have come, into my backyard about what I'm doing and why I'm doing it.
Yeah.
So kind of, I I kind of have classes, but I don't.
Yeah.
Our class is free.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
our classes, come talk to us, and if you don't buy plants from us, who cares?
Yeah.
At least I educated you and maybe taught you one thing. And I'm not that. There are people out there that know more about native plants. There's people out there that know more about bees and butterflies and all of that.
Hmm.
But if I can just teach you one thing to get you helping our local species, then I'm happy.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. Yeah. I was just curious, because you seem like you're very big on the education piece and, the classes could be free too. And I'm trying to think of some places, local community centers that would be down about, with kids even too. Um,
Yeah.
because it starts with the youth. And I think a lot of people agree with that. Um, but before we segue into my final question, what are some pollinators that most people don't know? I mean, obviously bees are the very common one, but you said butterflies earlier. I'm not really very familiar with them. So what are some?
I mean, there's bees, butterflies, hummingbirds, birds, slugs, bats. There's so many out there,
Mhm.
that, anything that kind of like walks across a flower and spreads that pollen could technically be a pollinator out there.
Okay.
Obviously the main ones are bees and butterflies, and
Mhm.
the different species that do different things, and like figs need to be pollinated by a specific wasp. And
Oh,
when the wasp actually pollinates it, the fig actually consumes the wasp. Uh, and basically the fig berry is, or then has a part of a wasp in it
wow.
for the rest of its life,
Yeah.
or for the until it gets served on your plate.
That's
And
wild.
it, it it really just depends on the plant. There's all the
Yeah.
plants have different needs. All the pollinators have different needs in there, and there's thousands and thousands of pollinators out there.
Hmm. That's awesome, man. That's super awesome. I just wanted to, you know, fill a little bit of that in because I'm very unaware of myself also. So, That was some good info. I appreciate that.
Yeah, and
Um,
I'm trying to use our social media as a little bit of a segue because I don't have a blog yet.
mhm.
Just being a startup, there's just things we don't have the
Yeah,
resources for. Volunteers have been amazing to like help fill and bridge those resources that we don't have, but there's
yeah.
just things that we just can't do this first year, and that's good, one of them. So what we're trying to do is fill that by using our social media platforms to
Mhm.
educate and to fill people in on those little details that they just don't have, like what you were asking about.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And at the end, I would more than happy, have you plug your Instagrams and Facebooks and all of that.
Sure.
Um, we'll definitely get you on the website too. Parkbench will help, do everything for a community. So that's super awesome. What is one of the things that you love about Westminster? That's my final question.
I I love Westminster because it's accessible. Um, I used to live downtown in Denver,
Hmm.
and it was loud, and coming from small town in Iowa, it just wasn't quite for me. And Westminster is close enough to everything that 15 minutes I can be downtown. 15 minutes I can be in Golden, and no matter where I'm trying to go or what I need, it's not far away. And I love my little neighborhood that I'm in. I love all my neighbors. Everybody's really friendly, and I get that small town feel without having to be in that small town. And you have a support system from your neighbors. You get to communicate with your neighbors, and people are actively caring about you, and vice versa. It's like I care about my neighbors and I show up for them, and I want to see them succeed in their lives, and I want to see their kids go on to good schools and get good educations, and I'm there when they need me, or if something comes up and they need their kids watched. I've babysat before on the drop of a hat. And like, I love that feeling of a neighborhood and community that can count on each other. Even though you might not be good friends, you still know that you can trust that person and be there for that person. And in today's world, with everything that goes on and like so much bad publicity, I love that about our neighborhood.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, Westminster's it's top notch. I've been there and lived there for about a year and a half. So it's a really beautiful city, man. And I'm from Ohio, Midwest too, and I feel like a lot of the outside Denver communities are very tight knit, and really sharing community is so important to me. I'm from a town with 10,000 people, so um, more close knit like that, it just hits at home, and the support from your neighbors too, and having people help volunteer and everything. That's incredible, absolutely incredible. What a place to live, man.
Yeah,
What
I love it. So
So awesome. So Brad, where can they find you? Where can we see you on social? Where if you want to plug the address for home too. I don't know if you're comfortable with that. So
we're still trying to figure out our hours after this soft launch of like what we can do being a residential location on there. So I'm gonna kind of avoid that. You can go to the website at findingnectar.com. Also, we have our Instagram, which is Finding Nectar Nursery is our handle, and then Finding Nectar is our Facebook on there. You can email me at brad@findingnectar.com. Um, Reach out if you have questions. I am 100% available, and I will probably guarantee I'll be the one responding. So please reach out. I am always available. And if I don't know the answer to your question, I've accumulated a lot of resources and a lot of people within like the nursery community, the pollinator community that I can reach out to and ask. We had somebody show up and had bat questions. I know nothing about bats. I will be honest. I know what they are. I know they use echolocation and eat bugs,
yeah,
but
yeah,
my knowledge was limited, and I just got some really fun schooling this week on bats because we had a customer that wanted to know more. and had some very specific questions that I couldn't answer. And I will tell you that I don't know, but I will at least go out there and try and find you the answers to that. So please reach out if you have questions about pollinators, about the plants, about our business, anything like that. And if I don't know, I will find out for you, or I will at least try.
That's awesome, man. I love it. I love it. I'm so glad I could get this interview with you, man. It's a pleasure to help local businesses, especially one that's so fresh. I mean, what better time than now to do an interview like this and
Yeah.
really shoot it out into the internet, into the world. So that's super awesome. I really appreciate your time today, Brad. Brad with Finding Nectar here in Westminster. I think that everybody should stop on by. They just had a soft launch here on Saturday. Sounds like they did absolutely amazing from the beginning of the interview that we talked about. I wish I could have stopped on by, but once you know more about the hours and everything like that, if you put them on the socials and things like that, I would love to stop by, man. I'm a sponge for knowledge, so anything and everything as well.
We're always available for drop-in. Just we're asking, just shoot us a message and give us some options of when you want to stop by. We have plenty of people that stop by daily and have a conversation with us. And we're not open for standard hours, but we are open if you give us times that you're interested in stopping by.
Awesome, Brad. That's so awesome. And I can't wait to stop by and see the what you said, 1,200 plants the last time we talked?
12,000.
12,000.
We had 12,000 plants when we started here a couple weeks ago. We're down quite a bit from that, but we have more plants coming. We have more seedlings coming up right now, and it's just going to be a fun ride this year.
That's awesome, man. That is so awesome. I'm excited to see how you flourish and see what the growth happens, man. And just like a plant, just starts off as a seed and just erupts into a beautiful flower. So I'm excited to see what you do.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. And I appreciate your time today. So
yeah, likewise, man. Likewise. So I will be in touch. I'll post the interview here in probably about 2 weeks. I'm going to get the intro, maybe a little outro as well. We had a pretty good one, but I'll mesh them together in about 2 weeks. I'll have it up on the website, and then you can actually visit the website and you can have your own business page. So basically, you can post your own events, everything like that. Once I post the interview, it'll send an email to the Brad at Finding Nectar, and you'll be able to click that, and it'll give you your own basically, client portal. And that way you can, put events, do anything like that, put the hours in that you want, address of business, things like that. So, in the next 2 weeks, look out for that email, and I'll also shoot you a Facebook message as well.
That works. Thank you. I really appreciate your time, and look forward to seeing what comes out of this. So.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks, Brad. Right. I appreciate it. Have a good day, man.
Thanks. Have a great day.
See ya.